Hey guys, so I wanted to share this quick video because I was able to scale my online business to four figures a month while I was working a 9 to 5. And a lot of people, they quit their job, for example, when they are not making anything yet. They don't start their business yet. They first quit their job, then they start their business. But what I've seen happen was a lot of those people, they quit eventually because like business is already hard in itself, right? There is constant doubt, there is constant fear, and we just have to move forward despite it. But if we quit our job and we have no money coming in and we have to make it work, like we are desperate to make it work, then there is another point, another pressure point basically that makes it way more complicated than it needs to be. And for some people this works. For some people they can just quit their job, and even with intense amount of pressure, even with the doubt, they continue going. But a lot of those people won't. I've seen it happen time and time again, that someone, he quit his job and he basically came to me asking for advice because he needed to make money online. And I gave him the advice, but then he didn't implement it. And I said why, and it basically was, it is it is almost impossible, I mean, to become consistent and to become creative when there is this constant pressure, this desperation, needing to make it work. And even in sales calls, like when you need the money, people will feel that you're desperate to get the money, and they won't buy from you. So I think, in my experience, the best way to go about it is to stay working your 9 to 5 and build your business like in your spare time. Like when you get home from work, don't watch Netflix, don't scroll on social media, don't play video games, just build your business then. And I did that. I balanced my online business with my 9 to 5, and I still had other responsibilities, like for example my health, my relationships, and my peace of mind. Those are like the non-negotiables. I still made time for them. So I only had around 2 to 3 hours on average throughout the week per day to spend on my online business. And that was without all of the distractions. So I didn't do any bad habits. But still, it is very difficult to make it work because, like, picture it like this. You have a certain amount of time, and that time is limited when you work a 9 to 5. So for example, this is someone who's going to do it like full time. And someone does it full time, and he is like, this is the time. He is like 8 hours a day to spend on the online business basically. When you're doing it part-time, and you're still working a 9 to 5, it may be 2 hours. And so if some people have 8 hours who are going to do it full time, and you have only 2 hours, well, how do you make it work? Because like it is still a competition. Like you are still competing to other people, because look at it from a client's perspective. Like, who do you want to work rather with? Someone who isn't really experienced and only does it something for 2 hours a day, or one who is really experienced who does it for 8 hours a day? Of course, there are other variables, and those variables I will tell you something about right now. So the only way that we can outcompete the people who do it full time is through leverage. And there are basically 3 pillars I noticed on how you can use leverage to get better results than someone who is going to do it full time. So the first point of leverage is the effectiveness of what you work with. And the effectiveness, it is basically, are you working on the high leverage tasks that are really moving you forward? Like, don't spend time on building things that aren't really useful. Like building an offer, making websites, it is really fun, but it isn't really high leverage. So a lot of people, they focus on the wrong things. And let's say, for example, no, wait. Let me first share the other points of leverage. So effective is one, effectiveness. Second one is efficient. So the efficiency. And the third is focus. So these three things are how you can maximize your time and energy. So for effectiveness, like I said, this is working on the high leverage tasks, so you don't waste time working on the things that doesn't move you forward. Efficient is creating a system. A system is basically a routine of habits that will increase both the speed and the quality of your work. Because if you make something a habit, you don't have to think about it. And if you don't have to think about it, you're way more creative, you're doing the work better, with higher quality and more speed. So by creating systems, you can work efficient. And then focus is not getting distracted, both in the short term, so like the concentration. Can you work without getting distracted by maybe like there are external distractions like notifications, something you can control them by just turning them off, but there are also internal distractions. Those are like, are you getting distracted by thoughts or by emotions or whatever? So focus both in the short term, so the concentration, and in the long term, so the consistency. Can you focus for months on end on your goal without losing your focus, without stopping to be consistent? And these three things are basically how your leverage points. So even if you have little time, let's say for example your effectiveness is a 10, because you only work on the top 5 tasks with the highest leverage and you do nothing else. And the efficiency, like for example, the efficiency is 5, for example, because you have gotten way better systems, and you, like, if you are very, very consistent with the system, it might be a 10, but if sometimes, like, I know, like, everyone is human, like there are sometimes slip-ups, like let's say a 5. This is only for example. And if the focus is then a 10, so you're not getting distracted at all. This is impossible, basically. This is also impossible, but this is just an example. So your leverage, like the end result here, the end points will basically determine how productive you really are. So if you do 2 times 10, that is 20, times 5 is 100, times 10 is 1,000. This is your productivity. And when someone is working full time, for example, but he is only doing things that he enjoys to do, like not a boring high leverage task, but only the things that he enjoys, and his effectiveness is like 2, for example. His efficiency, like there's no structure in his day, he's just working whenever he feels like it, is also a 2. And his focus is also a 2. Then once you multiply these things, so 8 times 2 is 16, times 2 is 32, is 64. You are way more productive than the guy who is doing it full time, even though you have less time to spend on it. And that is why because I focused on effectiveness, on efficiency, and on focus, I was able to like make it work and progress much faster than a lot of other people. And the only way I was able to do that is by doing this and this and this. Now, since about 3 months, I'm doing this full time. So this is not 2 hours. This is probably like 10 hours per day. I really like what I do, basically. And if you like what you do, it doesn't feel like work, it feels more like play. Then this will not be 1,000, but this will be like 5,000. So, yes, even though you don't have a lot of time and energy, just focus on effectiveness, efficiency, and focus to maximize that limited time and energy that you have. Maximize it, you will eventually make it work. Maybe it will take you a year, 2 years, but then you can quit your job and never have to look back. So yeah, bye.